All right, guys, here to talk about Season 2, Episode 3 of Iron Fist.
So what's up?
This episode is super not memorable for me.
Oh, yeah, no. So this episode centers around a dinner party of sorts,
Yeah,
if you will. Which
that's awkward.
I mean, I kind of liked parts of it. It was kind of interesting.
I don't even fully understand why they would accept to go to this dinner party.
It makes no sense. It obviously makes no sense.
No, and I get from Danny's end, I understand trying to bury the hatchet, but Davos is trying to bury a hatchet. Like
in Danny's face.
Yeah.
Oh no, I very much I kind of like Ward. I like Joy. I'm kind of even liking Davos as the again his Loki wearing the suit in Thor. I'm walking amongst these people and doing stuff, but I shouldn't be here. Angle was okay in this. I like the awkward dinner party version of them or something like that. But yes, very weird.
It just feels very TV because it doesn't feel like something that would happen.
And they tried to be like a couple. They tried to fake that they were like a couple or something. I thought that they'd see through that and call them out on that or something. But it was this weird thing.
Now maybe I'm just remembering things incorrectly.
Yeah, throw it out
but
there.
so Danny knows about Davos and her exactly how publicly.
Ward told him.
But he doesn't know about it publicly, so how did he invite them?
What?
If Ward told them.
I don't know.
But you remember it the same way I do. Ward told him about Davos and...
Yeah, because
Ward
he
was
went to the party,
Danny,
and
Donnie,
he said whatever.
Davos,
Yes.
Davos. So
that was more that amazing dialogue that this show keeps
But
delivering.
what I'm saying here is, at what point does that enable Danny to invite them
They
both?
say something like, Danny knows about us? And then someone says something, and then he says something like, oh, yeah, the meeting, the divestment thing. They actually make a whole weird thing of it. I had no problem with this, but to address your concern...
It just
they
on
added,
top of the weirdness.
They added all this dialogue about, oh, so he must be fresh in your mind because of the divestment thing. Oh, of course, yes.
No.
They do this whole stupid thing to smooth over that thing that was already a mess.
I gather that Danny has run into both of them individually, but I couldn't recall at any point where he ran into both of them together.
I don't think he has, but that's the point.
That's what's strange that the connection was made, because Ward told him that's how he knows. So he does not know outside of this, and they don't know that Ward knows about the dinner. So that whole thing, I was like, this is a little weird.
They act crazy about, oh, Ward put you up to this.
It is a little
like
betrayal-y, backstabby thing if you're trying to get.
How do you feel about Joy's grudge and all of this? How do you feel about
hate
this
Joy,
situation?
In general.
I like the actress.
Oh, no, she's fine.
I like what she's doing.
I don't hate whatever her real name is.
Sure.
No, it's just the whole...
She's like, I will never forgive you guys for hiding my, ancient ninja magic dad.
And I think that he could have swayed these things a little bit by saying I was only doing as your dad told me to do. This was not my personal choice to hide your father. I would have loved to. I actually said multiple times I wanted to tell you, but your dad wouldn't have it. He said it was to protect you.
I was new in town, something like that.
And
for Danny at least.
That's my thing with a lot of TV shows when people don't even try. When someone says this, that, and the other thing, and then they just walk away and you're let them leave. And I'm like, why don't you say your side ever?
I refer to this as the just go trope, where people wait, I can explain. No, you've done enough explaining. Just go, and then we get to go through a whole season of television of these people not being
and sometimes it's ridiculous. Where it's I have proof. I didn't do it right here. You can just look at it.
Why don't you ask the girl? No, it just looked from the window like we were doing something. I was helping her hang a painting. Come on.
Yeah.
It's always the worst thing ever. But this year, no, I'm not a human, so to me it's kind of weird, but I think I would, need to know so much and want to dig into this stuff with my dad that, I wouldn't let it be this thing where I'm I will never forgive you for not
And, clearly
telling me.
he was a horrible criminal monster. So, I don't get, I could see being mad in the very beginning before you knew any of those things, but I'm once you've known...
No. And then
what?
you find out he was briefly a zombie, and then you find out he was involved in all these horrible things, right? And then you're like, oh, dear.
He was my dad.
That was my own father. Yeah, I know. So that whole premise rubs me the wrong way. It's like a strange bedfellows thing with Davos and her, how they're against Danny and all that stuff. And to your point, it ends up being super ridiculous to have them just over at the apartment at that point.
Yeah.
It feels really weird. You would think, and she actually says I have a table at this restaurant. What if we don't have to do this or whatever? and it's
yeah.
like,
Well, I get the
Yeah.
personability of cooking and this and that, and it shows
Yeah.
you mean a little bit more.
Yes.
But it's also weird to have your enemy at your house. I know he already knows where you live, but why? You know, like if something's gonna go violently, they're gonna break your items. Like,
Yeah,
you don't need
this
that.
would be a bad thing, and you're on your home turf. I hated a lot of little things that we can get into.
Sure.
I hate the dialogue in general on the show. So a lot of the dialogue around
Let me go into a little thing. I hate all the written
dialogue.
text.
No, like they give these characters things to say, and like some of the performances I kind of like, but a lot of the stuff that's happening, like he's making meatballs on the back porch,
Yeah,
and
kebab
then,
style.
and then like the ladies are talking about stuff, and they have Colleen like ninja throw a noodle and like throw and catch her knife and like do stuff like like
Well, the
it's-
noodle throw,
it's-
that's a real thing that
yes, but
people do.
Of course it is, but she did it in like a and like they cut it like it was a ninja move. They didn't cut it like people can throw a knife and catch it to be a fancy chef too, but her thing was filmed
they're trying to sell
and
something.
framed like it was a thing, as if it's like a comedy thing though. These are like comedy beats and comedy cuts. They're not like you subtly maybe that there's more to her than is going on, and then later when Davos says like you had a true test but you walked away from it, and they're like what's happening, what is she really, and it's like she's just like a skilled martial artist. She doesn't have any powers.
She's the
She's not
most
doing
skilled martial
anything.
artist in the world that you could randomly happen upon your first day in New York. That's what she is.
That's what she is. Of course.
Slash girlfriend.
Slash girlfriend.
And then, like, we get Davos sees those photos. We get a little bit of knowledge on what those are. The photos
Yeah.
being dropped off by our split personality friend, which was like, nailed it.
Oh yeah. No, so obviously it's a split personality.
It's a cunning, agile, ninja-esque personality that gets Davos on his heels
Okay, so he finds the pictures.
and instantly knows what they are.
Yeah, that sets him off, right? You don't immediately know exactly what's going on, but then because they tell you as soon as they actually leave.
Yeah.
I thought when they were storming out, they were going to open the door and Ward was going to be there. But
That would've been better.
But that would have been more cliche, I think. But at a certain point,
I brought cronuts. That should
cliche
have been his thing.
cliches are like oxygen when you're watching something. You have to eventually come up for air and do something that's like maybe it's expected, but that's okay because you're doing it, and that's what you have to do to get things happening, right? But Ward's not there. They go outside and they immediately say, "We have to go talk to Walker," and I'm like, "Texas Ranger?" And it's like, no, there's another character, or whatever. And you find out. He says something like he had the pictures, the ones you paid for, and Joy's like, what? And all this stuff's happening, right? So they go, and we see the person, and like the white noise thing's happening again. There's some like MacBook stuff happening, or like Sony Vaio, whatever the product placement thing is happening. And then, as you alluded to, it turns out she has like swords or something like that.
Yeah, like under the table, like you would have a gun under it. She has like
Just
blades.
always has swords and puts them up to Davos's neck, and then he's like squaring up with her and all this business. So I don't know if you poisoned me against this character or if this is just bad, but I hate this character. I hate everything about this character.
I don't think it would have taken much for me to actually poison this person for you. They're not good.
I
they're bad as a good guy, and they're even worse as a bad guy.
Well, so I like the idea of split personality stuff, and I called out the thing that I like about her folding up the notes and like the look on her face and how she's dealing with this thing. Imagine finding notes that your other personality that's horrible.
No, and
left for
I
you.
love the
I was
idea
like,
of things
yes.
like that, but it's
And
not
like,
executed in a way that I enjoy.
Well, but when I thought that she was just going to be a like camera person slash, is she? I have to save her. Wait, no, you have to save me from her. This whole like thing happening, which is what they're going to do now. But instead of it being like information and like she's skilled and does stuff and they hired her, now she's like an assassin. She has ninja stuff happening, which is insane.
Never for a moment did I not think that it was that person that took the pictures.
Yeah.
But I would have loved so much if I was wrong and it was just a throwaway and it was Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
That would have been wonderful.
Oh man. Neat. Those pictures you paid for. We have to talk to Walker. And then it goes in. And it's Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so... Don't do this to me.
Wouldn't that have been great?
All right?
And then you find out it's like a double cross, and Danny actually knew all along about the thing and just been tipping him off into the thing. But it's one of those things where it's like, if it was a double cross, why did they act like they didn't know? And you know how all movies do, where it's like, why when they were alone did they still act like they didn't know?
Exactly. Whenever there's a triple cross, you always have to go back and be like, none of this makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
Is that where that ends? Let me see here. Yep.
It ends with the knife at the throat, I believe.
Jumps up with swords, squares up with Davos. That's that. So that's
and Davos is still acting like he has the cards here. When I'm like, you have a knife to your neck. You're dead already if she wants you.
I know, and you don't know what she's capable of apparently, because no one expected this to happen.
The idea that she was able to get that close to his neck with the swords, I'm like, Davos, so you're not as good as they say you are. Because what the hell?
Apparently, he doesn't deserve the Iron Fist.
Because is it to say, oh, he's that tough, he doesn't care if he dies without a head? Like, what does that mean?
He's so tough, he doesn't care if he has a head. Yeah, no, I know. Which, though, segues perfectly back to the beginning. Colleen and Danny are fighting because Danny's been out fisting. He's been doing this. How many times you light that thing up last night? Oh, my God. He's going out there, right? Part of why he wants to have this dinner at home is so he can take a break from his busy schedule of fisting.
And he's like, oh, I don't sleep anymore. You do this, you do that, blah, blah. It's just, I don't know, something about this show. and it's allegedly it gets better. But it's not doing it for me at the moment, where I think it's just building itself deeper into like cliches and things that I don't like and angles that I'm like, oh, you're really harping or trying to sell something too hard.
Yeah, no, it's awkward. We'll very briefly talk about, we have BB, and there's like, Colleen's investigating the stuff.
Super goofy.
I'm so sorry.
He never let people get near his chair.
And then she flips the chair over, and there's like not a compartment, not a hidden thing.
Yeah, just taped.
A leg is not loose. It's just a gigantic folder with visible money, and like
that at any point could have just like unfastened and fallen while he was at work.
And like hooligans were there, like repeatedly. I hate that so much. Not because you have to nitpick everything. It's like, no, you could do so many better things you could do there, right?
It just feels lazy.
You do the drawer thing where it goes ka-chunk, ka-chunk, and you're like, wait a minute, and like you find something. The outline here just says, and you find this weird bookie, this Chinese bookie book there, right? And money, and then BB takes the money, but you keep the lead, and then you part ways again, and then you tell them again, come by the shelter, y'all kids are crazy, and it's like, okay, right, that's the outline. But why did we do it like this crazy? We're gonna see more BB though, because he's all over the place.
That gang will play a pivotal part in the finale, I imagine.
Oh yes.
All right, you guys go there and make a distraction, and we'll do this.
It'll be a three-way split with all these things. Or
as they crush the hatchets and the whatever the other ones are.
Now this gang rises to power.
Like, all right,
Rufio and his boys rise to power.
And like they're their friends though. It's like, okay, you can run the streets, but keep it safe. Like, you are people for the people.
Right.
What?
We're
gang members.
We'll let you be in the gang. I guess we're in a gang now, Colleen? That's weird. I don't know. That's really all. So more happens with them at the end. I'm kind of avoiding this. We'll get to more of the small stuff later with Ward, whatever. After the awkward dinner party, as if it was like plucked from a different episode, Mrs. Yang calls and is like, "Oh yeah, I want you for this." And they
doesn't reference her husband being dead or anything, but we assume.
I like that. That's okay.
Well, I don't think that. I think that's how it would play. You can't admit you're like, oh, we're in a position of weakness, especially during a time where you're trying to negotiate something.
Oh, no. But I like that she didn't even tell Danny and Colleen. I like that it was even a secret from them, which is cool.
I think you got it.
And it played through the whole way and all that stuff. So they're like the bodyguards. They do
that scene. It's such a weird joke of a scene.
What did I write down? It was like again, like they're like comedy things. So badass in quotes, music and walking. Danny has the face scarf on. Weapons. He is the weapon and all this stuff. Oh, it was amazing. I was like, what is that? What? Because this is, again, like at the end of the episode. This is like, we're sort of done with the main thing, it feels like, and now we're going off and just taking care of this thing really quick.
Yeah.
It was...
I don't even know why wear the face scarf anymore. No. Because especially when you're all the people you're dealing with now, you've dealt with them without a mask on. If your fist lights up at all, there's only one guy that does that.
And if anyone knows that Danny Rand is Mr. Fister, then they would know about him being so. It's already done, right? Does anyone not know it's Danny Rand?
I think this is just them slowly trying to get more and more into the character itself.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they are ever going to go with the actual traditional costume or like a face covering that is the flip side of what he has now, because the eye is being expressive as an actor wants. I imagine that is something you would prefer, because it's hard to act with just your mouth.
Right.
But like, it's not like they screwed up Daredevil and made his costume not that way. So
actually, that's probably the difference. Is that they don't want it to be too similar to Daredevil.
But it would be yellow.
Yeah. It would be yellow. I think the thing we said about like they probably showed it in the flashback just to let you see it.
No, agreed. I don't know if it'll be the same mask, but I picture a mask that hides your identity at all, because like there's a big difference between Matt Murdock and Danny Rand. And Danny Rand is super rich, famous, this and that. Yeah. If he causes any trouble to things, lawsuits for you broke my window, you did this, emotional distress. Like blind lawyer guy who no one knows doesn't have that same issue.
No, and blind lawyer guy too. Like if the cops show up, blind lawyer guy can be like, "Who's there? Help! Oh my God!"
Yes.
Right? Danny Rand. They're all like, "Are you Danny Rand? I saw you on the cover of that magazine. Why are you covered in blood?" And he's like, "I'm not from around here. I'm very sorry. I have to go." Like it's just weird. It doesn't work at all.
It doesn't play.
Okay, perfect.
But yeah, so he's wearing the mask, so I'm like, that's goofy. Then there's all this weird...
And they play like... It's like... Like this
it's
Matrix
like an old thing where he looks out the
music.
window, sees them coming.
Yeah.
This was a setup from the beginning that they chose the location. Why would they not already be in the building? Why would there be anything like that?
And then he fights the guys that are inside after yelling about who's outside.
Yeah.
It's this insane thing. It makes no sense to me at all.
And then we see like Colleen get like bitched. Where I'm like, I thought she was the best ever. Like, how'd she
that guy's
lose?
even better.
Somehow.
Yes.
Somehow nameless, faceless thug number 6 who gets stabbed in the eye with a chopstick
and dies from it.
Yeah.
Doesn't just destroy that woman because he's like, you ruined my life now. I don't know how deep the spike went or something.
It doesn't
like
even
that.
matter.
I don't.
If they want you dead, it could be this big. That
they want you dead, you're dead.
Pretty much.
No, yeah. So she comes to help her, and then you get this moment of like, oh, like you're pretty cool too, or whatever. It's like,
I hire you as bodyguard.
Right, I'm gonna
How good are you?
I'm gonna need you as a bodyguard, but if anything goes down, I have your back.
I will defend your body.
Oh God. No, yeah, this whole thing, and then so again, I think you poisoned my mind against this too. But so like, they're at the so like Colleen and Miss Yang leave. So then Danny's with the people at the table, and he says something like "end him" or whatever, and then a guy goes like this and like pulls a little knife or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, if that was a gun, Danny would just be dead.
Yes.
Why wouldn't you have a gun? What's going on? This is crazy.
And didn't the guys we see coming in from outside all have guns? Like,
I don't know.
Why are guys that are not near your actual defenders don't have guns?
I don't know, like, and this is so dumb. It's like you're making like a kung fu
it's
show.
Plot convenient.
But like you're making a kung fu show. I shouldn't be thinking about why don't these people have guns, right? But I think everyone's...
Maybe if you didn't film it in New York, I might have a better like. Oh, it's in Japan or something.
Or when the bad guys were the Hand, it was kind of like, oh, well, they wouldn't use guns because of some weird reason that makes no sense, right? But these are gang members in New York. They're like Asian gang members, but like like what's the iconic image? Is like
if they were going to use knives, wouldn't they be really good at them? Like why do they just seem like thugs with knives?
But the iconic imagery is like a Yakuza guy on a motorcycle with an Uzi with an extended clip or like whatever or and all that stuff. It isn't like Asian gangs hate using guns and like the hatchets. Maybe their thing is hatchets, but these are the tigers, right? What's going on? They should fight with tigers,
or have like tiger claws, or
and have tigers come in. Okay, right. Then again, I'd have some weird excuse to believe that it's a thematic choice or something like that, or like have a cop be like, "This is ridiculous. What is this, a movie? Why are people fighting with swords?" And then have someone else say, "Well, they crack down on like gun laws, so if you're caught with a gun, it's like this much jail time. So all these gangs stopped using guns." Just like throw something in there, because otherwise it seems really weird. Because everyone's always shooting at Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and everyone shoots at Luke Cage so much because he can handle it, right? It makes sense.
It's plot convenient.
But it's insane how many guns are shot at Luke Cage constantly.
Daredevil's blind. He gets shot at all the time.
I know. That's the first thing that happens is Punisher shoots him at the beginning of season 2. Spoilers for Daredevil season 2.
It becomes... the suspension of disbelief becomes unbelievable at a certain point when I'm like, you're basing something in reality, and none of it feels real.
Right. It should be more
when the actions and the dialogue have me stepping back a little bit. I'm like, well, what do you have?
Yeah, exactly. So like, I wouldn't care nearly as much about how weird and like not I can't even describe it, trite the dialogue
Sure.
like is, if like, okay, we now we're back to the kung fu. This is this is cool.
Yeah, dope ass
If
moves.
that was like whatever, right? And there have been some okay moves, but I would not describe anything as dope ass.
No. Not even close, honestly.
No.
And most of that stuff does come usually toward the end.
No,
but
that's like a finale thing, perhaps.
But there's dope things happening all the time with Luke Cage, just like toddling people and toppling walls, and like Jessica Jones like doing stuff that I'm like, that's cool. And Daredevil's been known for constantly hallway fighting the shit out of people.
just leave the hallway. If you see him at the other end of the hallway, get out of there.
Yeah,
you're done. You're donezo, my dude.
You got to be in open concept buildings from now on.
It's all just big warehouse rooms with pillars, and just hide behind the pillars. You can't see you. Earlier in this episode, I liked with Ward at the group therapy going crazy, being like, "Which one of you told her?" and all that stuff. Like,
yeah,
I like, and again, like, the saying is like the tall blade of grass or whatever. Like, like, what do I like the most? How does the amount of like compare to something else that I like a lot? Not a lot, but I like this. I like these characters coming off the rails and his whole thing. He even talks to his sponsor that he's shtupping and says like, "Okay, but do you work for Joy?" and all that stuff. And she's like, "What?"
Yeah,
like I
like a guy's life falling apart around him as much as the next guy, but it's just I think
it's not enough to like sustain.
If that's your
thing.
high point, that's a very sad high point. That would be a throwaway part of anything normal.
Yeah. I just wrote it down, so I'm mentioning that I liked it.
Sure.
As a thing that took place.
I didn't really walk away with a lot of things where I'm like, that was awesome. This was great. That was whatever. And like that's why I say this episode's kind of forgettable for me.
Oh, huge.
Where like in the quilt that is the season, this is a tiny stitch. Like
this is but a tiny stitch. Yeah, no, I want to make a funny edit loop of when Joy and Colleen are eating the pasta and go, and they go back and forth.
Did you find it funny that Davos was eating too?
Why? Because he has rules about
Isn't
eating?
he a vegan?
Something.
I don't know. I feel like everything about him.
Didn't they mention the last episode that he doesn't do any of the things?
He was a celibate vegan and blah, blah, and that. And like in 2 episodes, they've thrown that away.
He doesn't drink. He's a vegan and he's celibate. And then she cons him. Maybe that broke the seal when she uses him in this plot. And now he's just like red wine and kebab style, backyard meatballs. That's so weird. Is that supposed to be a thing?
I don't know.
Why would he do that?
He's like an Amish person on Rammsping or Rammstein or what else it's called. Rumspringa?
Yeah, Rumspringa.
Yeah. Oh, Rumspringa.
No, so again, I've been hearing reports from people. So, we're getting breaking news. Not breaking news. Headline news that hey guys, you really turned it around. Season 2 of Iron Fist much better than Season 1. Season 1 of Iron Fist is probably my lowest ranked of all of the. Maybe Defenders was worse, but it was shorter.
No, Defenders at least had moments of teaming up, things fun are happening.
Yeah.
And so far I don't have any of that. So like
sure,
this I think might at the moment. I would rank this season as the worst.
That's what I'm saying. So like people have actually said, "Hey guys, you really did a great job turning around Iron Fist." I was worried Season 1.
It must just end
really
very
land.
strong.
It must end very strong. I asked someone recently. They're like, "Oh, did you watch that?" I'm like, "I'm watching it week to week for a thing on YouTube." They're like, "What's YouTube?" I didn't want to bother them.
I don't have time to explain life.
I don't have time to explain everything to you. But they said, "Oh, it's really good. I really enjoyed it." And I go, "Okay, are the first 3 episodes awful, and you've wiped them from your mind?" And they were like, So I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Maybe we're the odd people out. Maybe we don't know what's going on.
I'm fine with that. I can see things as they are.
It's a curse.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? We've got Walker
Episode
now.
4.
We've got Walker now as a villain or whatever. That she's going to be.
I think she's always
guy.
been established as a bad guy.
No, but that's obvious. Well, okay. I should rephrase. I guess then she is the ninja bad guy. She's not just a bad element or whatever, right?
I wonder exactly where we go from here, because if she was indeed hired to be just a reporter type, get me information on this person, private investigator, at what point is she going to become an assassin or something? Will she be a third wild card thing? Is she now enemies with Davos?
Right.
We'll see. It'll be all about how the next episode probably opens.
Yeah.
If it opens with we need to talk about blah blah, then I'm like, okay, or it could end with a horrible fight.
Okay.
However way they want to swing it.
It opens with a flashback. It's Stick talking about train somebody else or something like that. Or it's a flashback to Davos and Dany fighting, and the camera pans over, and there's a little girl in the corner sitting Indian style, training in Kunlun as well. Or it's like the hand, and like they like crack open like another pot, and like this actress falls out all oily and gooey from whatever.
I don't think it'll be anything good. I think it'll.
Were those good?
Based on what I think it's going to be, yes.
What do you?
I picture she's just another random person we came across that is the best kung fu artist in the world. I think that's what we're going to end up.
No.
I would almost put money on it.
Okay. Well,
we won't know until next episode,
we'll
though,
find
potentially.
out, I guess.
All right, guys. So that's
My
our
God.
thoughts on this episode. Let us know in the comments about what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.